Hello and welcome to the 10-Star Happy Hour podcast, where we talk about all things ticketing, marketing, and logistics. My name is Brennan Robinson, your host, and here with me today is Mark Sutherland from the Spirit of St. Louis Air Show and STEM Expo. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Great to be here.
I came to your show for the first time in 2022, and that's when I started here at a 10-Star, and it was the first air show that I'd been to with a 10-Star. I was amazed at how great of a show it was, how big of a show it was, how organized it was, and it definitely set the bar for expectations.
Yeah, no, we've been doing this show since 2014. So prior to our show, there was a previous iteration called the St. Louis County Air Show and Fair, or Fair and Air Show, and we that ended in 2007. And then back in 2012, a group got together and started planning the return of the air show for the 50th anniversary of the airport. A couple of months after that, I was asked to join the team. So that was in 2012. The first air show was 2014. And, some of us knew what we were doing, and we hadn't had an air show in a while. Blue Angels came, Skip Stewart came, and a whole bunch of others. And 150,000 of our closest friends showed up. And we're like, well, okay. We expected it was going to be one and done. We were going to do one air show, and then we were done. And we did that air show, and we're like, wow, we might be onto something here. And so we bring it back every time the Blue Angels want to come visit. So every 2 to 3 years, because the Blue Angels, they're Boeing FA-18, originally the Legacy Hornets, now the Super Hornets, are all made in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a home show for Boeing, and they're a huge supporter of ours. And so anytime the Blue Angels want to come and perform for the St. Louis region, we're ready to put on a show for them.
That's really cool. And Mark, talk about specifically, I guess, what you do for the air show.
So I'm head of the marketing team, and I've got a phenomenal team that does it. I also serve on the executive committee. So the air show itself is everybody's a volunteer. So all in, it's 1,000 plus volunteers. Key volunteers right around 100. And we all have regular lives and regular day jobs. And we do this because, one, we love aviation, and two, we want to give back to the next generation. Big part of the air show is a STEM Expo, which really inspires the next generation through the use of aviation and hands-on science, technology, engineering, and math. But I lead the marketing team, which covers just regular promotions, social media, press outreach, anything to do with marketing the air show to our guests around the region, and a lot of times from around the world, who come in and really try and tell the story of what we have coming up via the various mediums that we have access to.
One really cool piece, not every air show does it, but the STEM portion of the air show, I think, is really cool, because a big part of just being motivated to put on an air show is for the next generation, right?
Exactly.
And teaching kids, and kind of just inspiring kids to be a part of the industry one day. And so the STEM piece, not every air show does it, again, but you guys do. And talk a little bit about what all goes on at that STEM Expo.
Right. So I think we were one of the first, if not the first, air show to do a STEM Expo, at least with the headline status that it has within our show. It's actually in the title. It's the Air Show and STEM Expo, and like I said, we want to give back. We want to inspire the next generation. Kids. And I remember being a kid growing up in Farnborough, England, going to the air show, International Air Show there, and looking up and being inspired by that, but that never really translated into anything. Yeah, I guess I made some good decisions in life, but it didn't translate to anything in the industry. And what we want to make sure that we're doing, especially with all the shortages and the need for people in STEM, whether that be aviation careers or just other STEM areas, is that that inspiring moment when the kid looks up and says, I want to be that. We want to show them what that can be. Doesn't have to be being a pilot. It could be, engineering. It could be design. It could be bioengineering. It could, any of the stuff that falls into STEM. We want to be able to direct kids towards that, and that's what the STEM Expo is. It's hands-on. It's hundreds of exhibits where kids can get hands-on with simulators, with aviation, with robotics, with bioscience, with anything that's encompassing that. And we have hundreds of phenomenal organizations who partner with us on the STEM Expo.
And along with that, the Blue Angels are great examples of someone who people who you can really look up to as as a kid. They're great role models,
Exactly.
and seeing them interact with the kids, before or after the show, and seeing the looks on those kids' faces when they get to talk to them is really cool.
Yeah, no, and that's what makes it all special. And you've got and beyond the Blue Angels, I mean, you've got the Blue Angels who come and do a phenomenal job. They do an incredible show, which has got even more incredibler. With the Super Hornets, it's even bigger, even louder. But then the other pilots are just the same. Whether they're on static, whether they're walking around, whether they're talking to kids, whether they're visiting the STEM Expo, you've got all these pilots who are passionate about what they do, and the engineers who support them who are interacting with these kids and really having that impact that we want them to have on the next generation.
That's awesome. That's awesome about y'all's air show specifically. There are so many great air shows out there, and I think that you guys lead by example, and it's really cool to see that and be a part of it. And you know, turning the coin a little bit and talking more on the marketing side of things for the air show. Your team, y'all have a really big presence on social media, which is very helpful, very impactful when it comes to marketing in general, but also key, precise communication
Hmm.
to your audience. And how has the role of social media evolved in promoting events like the Spirit of St. Louis Air Show and STEM Expo? And what strategies has your team implemented to engage audiences and really drive those ticket sales?
Yeah, I mean, there's about one is the excitement. I mean, the advantage of an air show, you got phenomenal visuals that really draw attention, whether it be video, whether it be photo. And we're able to use modern technology, geofencing, targeting, various other personas on social media and search mechanisms that will deliver content to our target audience, whether they're following us or not. We've got about 20,000 people that follow us, but we did start with zero, and so we've built that as we've gone on through the various air shows that we do. But really, it comes down to content. And then you figure out how to deliver that content in a way that reaches the biggest audience, and that's usually involving some kind of creepy stalking online, where you can target the right people, through various personas. And I mentioned we're all volunteers. We do actually also hire a as we get into the paid advertising of and such. We do hire a local agency to help us, a great company called Elasticity. They do a phenomenal job for us, and they've been working with us for a number of air shows now as well. Because, like I said, we're all volunteers. We have day jobs. So we hire them to really focus in on things for us. But Chase, who was on here momentarily and then had connection issues, he leads our social media team. So he's responsible for a majority of the content. Preston, who's our videographer, he actually came with a team of about 6 videographers as well. So we do a lot of video content, and we'll do a lot more this year as well. You'll see me as we get closer, especially that last week, doing behind the scenes. I like to pull back the curtain and show them things that they're not going to see. So when the Blues arrive, when other planes arrive, I'll be behind the scenes doing interviews or capturing footage and live streaming to get people excited so they know what's coming up. And the same thing as we go throughout the weekend, we'll be doing live hits. One, to promote, but also two, to make sure that our guests have the best day so they know where things are, how to get here, latest advisories. And then we, of course, throughout the weekend, monitor. We have a person who monitors all social media, tries to respond in real time to make sure that people are actually following our advice of coming early and staying late. Otherwise, you sit in traffic.
Yeah. And to buy early to get the best prices.
That's right. Yeah, we launch usually right around the winter visit, so November, December, And then we do severely discount those early bird tickets. They're basically half price. We are a nonprofit organization. We are fully funded by ticket sales and sponsors. There's no government money come in to help with any of this, and so we are reliant on those ticket sales. But we also know that sometimes, especially for a large family, $50 a ticket is a reach. So when we launch initially, we're at $25 a ticket, and then the other thing that we've incorporated, and we've been working on this for years, is for the first year ever, we're able to offer free tickets to 12 and under. And that's been a goal we've been trying to work towards for a long time because we want to inspire those kids. And we were constrained with the free tickets that we could offer before. But thankfully, multiple air shows, great support from our sponsors, great support from our guests. We're now able to offer, a family of six can come if they buy early bird tickets for $50 and parking's free. So it becomes a lot more affordable than we've been able to do in the past. So very, very excited about that.
That's awesome. And going back to the winter visit, what a great way to kick off ticket sales, the general public announcement that tickets are officially available. Everyone can look up in the skies and see the Blue Angels in the area flying overhead. And between the social media and also the email marketing that we did, it was a huge success, and it was a really cool pre-sale idea we reviewed and talked about. And the marketing conversation started really early, and it, as it should and as it always should. It's never too early to plan.
No, I think we're usually a year and a half out when we start all the intense planning, and there's something inspiring about a blue jet. Just it always is, and you get a lot of interest. People are zero awareness, then all of a sudden there was a blue jet flying overhead. What's going on? When's the air show? And just having that inspiration, and you'll see a lot. We see a huge upsurge on that Wednesday and Thursday when right before the air show when they all pull in and people are like, "What the heck?" Apparently, they haven't been paying attention because they didn't know about it until that point. Creepy stalking can only take you so far online.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I remember in 2022 when I left temporarily to, I think, run back to the hotel to do some work. As I'm driving to the hotel away from the show, the airport, I still see jets flying overhead. I mean, the visibility is huge in the area with an air show, and everybody is, whether they're at the show or not, they may be just simply sitting on their front porch watching some of the performances, and it's cool that you can understand how many. There's so many eyeballs on the performance, and so many people who really look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a huge boost to the local community. So we have limited tickets. So we usually sell out both days, and that's just because we have to. It's an airport that's not used to having so many people, and we want to make sure everybody has a parking spot. So we limit the amount of tickets by the amount of cars that we can actually park. But then you'll see a lot of restaurants around, a lot of the malls in the area will have people set up to do, with chairs, and they'll be doing food service, and everybody be just sitting out there and enjoying what they can see in the air. Unfortunately, they miss what they could experience on the ground, which is the STEM Expo and also our massive Patriots Landing, which is our veterans area as well. And then, of course, our static display, which seems to get bigger every year in addition. But it's a great benefit to the community, and it's an air show, so you can look up and be inspired, and hopefully they get plugged in after that and really be able to take that inspiration and do something with it.
Absolutely, and be interesting to really look into, and maybe probably you guys have the true economic impact the air show has, because I mean the number of people who travel from out of town to just come see the air show is big.
Yeah, every hotel in the region is going to be sold out.
Yeah, book your hotel room early too.
Exactly. Yeah, we book all of ours way way in advance so that we can actually be there.
Can you share a standout success story of a memorable moment where social media specifically has played a crucial role in really enhancing the attendee experience or generating buzz for the event, where you've really showcased the power of social media, specifically in the air show industry?
I think there's two that come to mind. One is when we started doing the live streaming and really gave the behind the scenes. Hey, here's what's when you walk through the ticket gate, and I would walk around the grounds and golf cart around the grounds and show them live stream. All right, when you walk through the gate, here's where this is. Here's where this is. You go here for this. You're just kind of really introducing them to what they're going to see ahead of time to really make that initial experience one to where they don't walk through the gates and wonder where the heck they're going. So really be able to highlight that, and then also highlight some of the items that are going on in the grounds that they can go to while they're waiting for the air show. The STEM Expo, the Patriots landings, the static, some of the other areas as well. The other one is something we just started doing this year, and that is collaborative posts, collaborative reels on Instagram. So we brought on a new videographer, again, volunteer, Preston Monarch. Him and Chase Kohler, who's head of social media, have been working very closely on some of our reels. And what they do is, instead of historically we'd put out these reels, great video, great footage, but it would just be us. But we've collaborated with the F-22 team. We've collaborated with the F-35 team. And so you put out these reels and we post them. And then Preston, who has like 1 million followers as well, posts them. And then the F-22 team posts them. They're all going out at the same time. And so instead of 10,000 views, you're getting 120,000 views. So it really amplifies our reach and allows us to take that content and do more with it. I'm sure there'll be new things that we come up with down the road. I claim no credit for this. I've got an incredible team that comes up with some incredible solutions for things, but just absolutely thrilled that saw some real good success this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the collaboration piece is genius. And I think that other air shows can apply that to what they do in their marketing efforts as well.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I'm sure it simply takes just reaching out to, the demo team, the F-22 demo team, or, whoever it might be, and just organizing that.
Yeah, it helps. I have people that know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you mentioned that your team, you work with a marketing agency who will handle, paid digital ads for the Spirit of St. Louis Air Show and STEM Expo. And because you guys are volunteers, there's only so many hats that all of you can wear. And having that piece of the marketing agency is really important because you guys can add to your team and have people who really know what they're doing, handle that piece of the marketing puzzle for you guys.
Exactly. Yeah, they live and breathe. I mean, my background's 30 plus years, actually 33, 34 years now of marketing. But I know a key support team is absolutely essential. Especially when like I said, we've all got day jobs, and it's important to have that professional support behind the scenes. It's not a huge spend, but it's still a spend, and but it works very well. And then it really, we added this last year or last air show, that real time off-site, basically, social media monitoring. So we used to try and handle it on site, and at about 11 o'clock, for some reason, when there's 50,000 people hanging out, you got no cell service anymore. And so we kind of lost that. So now we have people offsite who are doing real time monitoring. They monitor Twitter, social media, Facebook, Instagram, see if there's comments, see if there's questions, see if there's issues, and then also post updates. Hey, traffic issues, traffic updates, avoid this road, make sure you're coming in different areas. So really that we can really make sure that our guests are happy from start to finish. And then, of course, there's that ongoing message of come early, stay late. There will be traffic. Count on it, and don't sit in it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's an airport that isn't designed or meant to park that many vehicles,
Exactly.
and that piece
Exactly.
of the puzzle is so difficult to figure out, in general for all air shows. How am I going to park 20,000 cars, or plus, at the air show in a given day? And, same goes for military bases.
Right.
It's just not designed for it. So that
Yeah.
logistical problem is something that's kind of cool to solve. And with the ticketing hardware that we provide as well, like you said, when there's so many people concentrated in one area, the cellular network doesn't work well or at
Right.
all.
Right.
And so what we do is, we'll bring, Starlink devices. We brought Starlink to the last 2022 show, and I'm sure we're bringing them to the 2024 show, as well as another dedicated private 5G network that we can use just to connect to those hardware devices that we bring for ticket scanning, selling tickets at the gate if needed.
Right.
That was one of the first things that a 10 star really solved is, oh wait, there's so many people here. Typical cellular service doesn't work at all, so
Exactly.
we
Right.
need a way to get first responders connected to internet and ticketing
Yeah.
hardware and any other devices that um, we have to have online.
And that's huge for us because we don't do ticket sales at the gate. Everything is online. That's that way it's a lot easier to manage. Then once they're parked, you just have to scan their ticket on the way in and they're in. They don't have to wait in line. When we first did the air show 2014, 2016, we had ticket sales at the gate. We stopped it and the guest experience improved dramatically because of that. And then on the parking and the traffic situation, that took us about 5 air shows to figure out, and we try different things, and now we've got some professionals who are involved who know what they're doing, that do this all over the country, and they come in and they do planning for us, and then we have some great partnerships with local law enforcement and first responders in the region. So yeah, it's a ballet of cars on the way in and the way out, but the last air show especially, we got incredibly positive feedback about how quick we could get people in and out. And that, again, it's a team effort. It takes absolutely everybody. And we're thrilled that we have such incredible people involved with us.
Absolutely. And that piece of selling tickets online and only selling tickets online, like you said, really improves the guest experience. Less traffic. People aren't waiting at the gate in long lines to buy tickets.
Right.
It's just scan and go, scan and go. And I think that it helps solve a logistical problem at air shows where historically there have
Right.
been such terrible traffic and long lines at the gate to get tickets. And once upon a time, tickets were sold for cash only, and
Yeah.
now it's time for everybody to really use the technology that we have at hand to enhance the attendee experience.
Agreed. Agreed.
Well, Mark, thanks so much for joining us today. This has been really cool chatting with you.
No, happy to do it, and really appreciate the 10-star team. You guys are phenomenal. I think we've been working with you guys since the first air show in 2014, and it just keeps getting better every year. You keep rolling out more tools, more things that we can utilize to help drive the lifeblood of our air show, which are ticket sales, and ensure that people are aware of the incredible experience that they can have with us.
I'm gonna quote you on that. I'm gonna put that quote on our website. That was really good. That was really good. I like that.
Okay, don't ask me to repeat it. It was genuine and from the heart, and I don't know what I said.
Well, thank you guys for joining the 10 Star Happy Hour podcast. My name is Brendan Robinson, your host, and here with me today is Mark Sutherland, and we'll see you next time.